The MacVoices update for April 2026. This is MacVoices. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. This is the April 2026 MacVoices update, where I try to summarize the events of the month behind the scenes and in front of the camera as well, and keep you up to speed on everything that's happening at MacVoices. So you probably have noticed that, first of all, I am starting to release the shows from the National Association of Broadcasters show, or NAB, that I attended in Las Vegas earlier this month. I had a great time. I spent a couple days in classes at Post-Production World. I spent a couple more days on the show floor gathering up interviews from some old friends and also some new friends as well. I think it's important to let you know that when I approach NAB, I approach it as a video creation enthusiast, something that I'm very interested in for obvious reasons. But I also think that you will benefit and you should pay attention to at least some of the interviews, if for no other reason than the availability of products and services has come down so much. What a few years ago would cost a couple $100,000 and had to be driven around in a truck now can fit in your pocket and on your desktop. And it just keeps happening over and over. So maybe something that was out of my personal reach a couple years ago now is starting to look like it might be much more approachable. And I think the same thing is true for you. Whether you just want to create video for fun or whether you're telling particular stories for your work or business or social organization, it is something that is absolutely worth your time. Not every interview is geared toward that. Some of them are probably outside your price range and maybe even outside your interest. But those are not apologies. Those are just statements of fact. But I still think that you will find something interesting and useful if you watch them, listen to them, and check out the products. But that took up a fair amount of the month. The other thing that took up a fair amount of the month was some business travel that really took its toll on MacVoices Live because we were dark 2 or 3 nights this month, which is very unusual. The good news is that is behind us, and at least for a little while, there should be no more disruptions to our Tuesday night schedules. I toyed with the idea of trying to move things around and maybe do it on other nights, but you're not used to that, and trying to get the word out in time to make sure you didn't miss anything. Also for our panelists and also for our panelists who have shows scheduled on other nights. I didn't want to step on those either. So we just kind of toughed it out, and now we're back on schedule. We'd love to have you join us on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern at MacVoices, at youtube.com/MacVoices. In the chat room, we always have a great time. One other note, though, about MacVoices Live. We changed things around a little bit regarding the articles we talk about and the show notes. Obviously, the show notes, the links show up in every individual posted MacVoices session once it's out. But during the live show, I found I was spending a little too much time copying and pasting URLs into the chat room, and it just didn't make sense. So if you are a Patreon member, you get access to our preliminary show notes. And I say preliminary because, what can happen in that last 24 hours before the show. But we try to make the preliminary notes available approximately 24 hours ahead of time at a private Google link. And then about half an hour before the show, they get published to the public on MacVoices at macvoices.com/show notes. A pretty obvious URL. So that gives everyone involved an opportunity to maybe take a quick look at them ahead, read some of the articles if they've missed them, and prepare, if you like to prepare for the show. So I hope that's a new benefit for our Patreon members. I really appreciate all their support. We'll talk about that in a minute. But bottom line is that it also allows me to be a bit more present in the show and keeps things flowing. So if you value the show notes, if you value maybe a little bit of a preview of what we're going to talk about, then check that out. So again, want to make sure I get it right. 24 hours ahead of time if you're a Patreon member. If not, approximately 30 minutes before showtime. And even if you don't value the show notes or don't want to peek, just join us because the chat is always a whole lot of fun. I think those are the biggest things that I have for this month, other than to say thank you for everyone who supports the show. Thank you for everyone who has been providing input on our new newsletter format. It seems that any hiccups that were happening there as far as delivery have gone away and everything is going well. But I welcome your feedback on anything, any of the shows, any of the opinions that are expressed on the shows, at least that are mine. I can't do much about the panels. But anything that you want to share or contribute or comment on, the contact form on the website is the best place to find me. And I do my best to answer things on a reasonably timely basis because, as you can imagine, there's a fair amount of email that comes in. With that, the last thing, as always, is the support report. And this is where I say a huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. You are the guys that keep us going. I really, really appreciate it. And I want to give you special recognition. I list these patrons out every update because I think it's really important to recognize them for their contribution to the show. I would love to have you be in that list. So visit patreon.com/MacVoices, sign up. You get the list. You get all of our Patreon benefits, including our Slack and our Discord, the new preliminary show notes, and anything else we can think of that you would value or we think you would value. For this month's support report, at Platinum, we had Ash, Marty J, and RVS. At Gold, we had Craig A, Webb B, David G, Robert G, Tim G, and Keith M. At Silver, we had AIM, Baz, Cletus H, Eric B, Brett C, Bruce E, John E, Barry M, Chuck P, George R, Andrea S, and Daniel S. And at Bronze, we had Brian F, Deborn, Ronald F, Craig H, Clinton M, John M, another John M, Kevin K, McCullough, Patrick N, Prop P, and Soyuz. So once again, thank you all for supporting MacVoices, whether you've been doing it for a month or for a whole lot longer. And some of those names have been on that list for a long time, and I really, really appreciate it. I sincerely hope that I'm delivering the value that I think I am and I hope I am to you, and I just want to do more. So if you can think of a way that I can add more value, if there are guests you would like to see, if there are topics you'd like to see hit, please drop me an email and let me know. With that, I will see you in the feeds and next month in the update. I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.